Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk, live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, here, straight out of the theater for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the second of the Spider-Verse films. And I gotta tell you, this summer is going to be scorching because we have another huge winner tonight in Spider-Verse 2. Let's get to my reaction straight out of theater, and it goes like this. The race for Oscars 2024 Best Animated Feature, it is O-V-E-R. It is over. Okay, over. Spider-Verse, this one is, I think, the most visually impressive film maybe I've ever seen. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Even stronger than its predecessor in pretty much every single way. Now, I have a few things I want to discuss. No spoilers here tonight, okay? So just know that. You're safe in the MMT space. Daniel Pemberton, his score here is leveled up. It's really strong. I mean, I would love to see this also nominated along with this film winning animated feature next year for Oscars. I mean, this thing is just wow across the board, okay? And when I watched this film here tonight, the number one thing I kept thinking is like, I'm watching a live version. I know this is so MMT what I'm about ready to say. A live version of Moon Age Daydream. You guys know how much I loved that movie, the psychedelic nature of that Bowie doc. That is one of my favorite films of last year. And this film, from a visual standpoint, ups the ante that much more from number one. This film feels even more anime-y than the first. And I think you're just going to be blown away, even from the first opening sequence, 20 minutes. The first 20 of this film will literally knock you out. It is impeccable. And I can't wait to see it again here in a couple days when it comes out on Thursday night. And tonight, one of the big things I want to drive home for you is that you need to make PLF your friend. Not the KLF, but the PLF. Premium Large Format. That is IMAX. That's Dolby. That's Regal's 4DX. Whatever you need to do to get to the biggest, loudest screen that you can, you need to make that happen for Spider-Verse 2, because from a technical standpoint, this film is exactly what we're looking for when we look to become one with the screen, when we are actually inhabiting the world that we are watching. This film does that even more so than the first. Now, be advised, if you do not know, this is very much like a film we just saw a couple weeks ago, Fast X. It's the first half of a film, so keep that in mind. Like a Dune, right? We're getting part 2 coming up this year. This is the first half of, eventually we get to the trilogy when we get to Beyond the Spider-Verse. But there's enough film here, plenty enough film, to keep you totally engaged with what you're watching. I think the one note for sure that I have, and you knew I'd have it, right? It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is a film that needs some condensing, little contracting. Just bring it down. I would just take a little bit of the midsection and just compact it. And I think that it needs some of that, but that's a minor quibble, okay? Because ultimately, the highs here are stratospherically high, and we're looking for that when we go to the movies. And just think about what we have coming out this summer. You haven't seen The Flash. Most of you haven't seen The Flash yet. You have that, a great film. You have this, a great film. Okay? And I would argue Fast X was fun as hell too. If you haven't seen it, forget F9. Just put that as far in the rearview mirror as you can, because that film sucked. But we are off to a start. This summer is going to be a record-setting summer for cinema. Okay, when you look at where we're headed, okay, over the next several weeks, now that we're entering June, coming up here, what, is it tomorrow, 2 days? We're there. I mean, Memorial Day is the start of summer officially. And you look at what we have coming up. We have, obviously, Barbie. We have Oppenheimer, Indy 5, MI 7. And I think a film, I'll tell you, you know what's going to be a sneaky film, an underdog. Ugh, I can't believe I just used that. Strays. I'm calling it here tonight. Strays will be a hit. And the reason I'm going to bring Strays into the conversation here tonight, because it works into Spider-Verse. If you do not know, Strays is EP'd by Lord and Miller. This film is written by Lord and Miller. Now, the first one was just Lord. You guys certainly are aware of who Lord and Miller are. I would argue the two most talented comedy writers in all of Hollywood. I mean, if I'm a studio, I'm paying whatever the price is to be in business with Lord and Miller Enterprises, okay? You know how the Daniels just got that deal from Universal? That first look deal that was like, tens of millions of dollars? Lord and Miller deserve 100 times the cash that the Daniels deserve. Because Lord and Miller actually have real talent, okay? And you see it in this film. They have that writer imprint. We always talk about singular directorial imprint on film, right? When you watch a Nolan film, when you watch a Fincher film, when you watch a Tarantino film, you know who you're watching because they have their own very unique signature that they place on the film. And Lord and Miller, from a writer perspective, have that exact same skill set. When you watch their work, you know they are behind it. And I would argue, go back to look at Lego Movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, even before that, 21 Jump Street. You look at what they have done, and they've leveled up things that shouldn't have been nearly as great as they ended up being because of their singular talent. And they're whip smart, right? The jokes come fast. They're solid. Here tonight, there's just so much Lord and Miller going on. I think it does make a difference to have Miller here with Lord, because they both wrote this with another writer here. So you see just a little bit more fleshed out. Again, the film is an improvement over the first, and I had the first one at a 9 out of 10. But I think the visuals here, the score by Daniel Pemberton, which is, yes, leveled up, and then you have just the sound. This is a sound contender as well. This film will blow your ears out in the best way. You need to, again, find IMAX, Dolby, whatever the PLF screen is near you, and make it your best friend and go see this film on Thursday night. This film is going to outperform. I also want to mention this entire stream, for those of you guys already know this, but I have to put it up as a disclaimer. This is not a review. Everything I just talked about was more just on the periphery, right? We're not talking spoilers here. We're talking about Lord and Miller. And I'll tell you, this film is going to outperform. There's no question. You look at the first film. Like, let me pull it up, because I was looking at it earlier, the box office of the first film, and I was just like, wow, that got off to a slow start. Okay, look at this. When we go back to Spider-Verse, that came out during the Christmas corridor back in 2018. And you look at the opening, the domestic weekend opening was $35.4 million. Okay, this film is going to open over 100. After seeing it, I'm going to push it to 115, 120. I'm going to take it and be bullish as hell. Because once I see the film, you guys know, I can absolutely revise my forecast. I nailed The Little Mermaid at 95. Okay, nailed it. Go back and look at the stream. We talked about it Sunday night. This film is doing over 100 to open, and I will push it closer to 120, maybe even higher. That's how strong this film is. But you look at Spider-Verse 1, came out during the Christmas corridor, and you talk about a film that makes cash. Remember, we talked about the biggest, most lucrative 2 weeks of the year when everybody's off for Christmas and New Year's, and they go to movies. Look at the film. It did all that business weekend after weekend, ended up with a worldwide total of $375 million for Sony, and I'm telling you, this film is going to make way more than that. I mean, could it be double? Could it double that number? And think about this. I just called it the Oscars 2024 Best Animated Feature winner, okay? That'll make it back-to-back Spider-Verse wins. There's no way this film loses, okay? So that sets up the finale in the trilogy here, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Could it be a three-peat Oscar Best Animated Feature winner? I'm telling you tonight, it's hella likely, okay? Hella likely. I want to mention this here before we get into some comments here. Tonight's kit is Bournemouth. It's my best Spider-Man football kit that I could come out of the closet with. And here it is tonight. Let's go to the comments. There's a lot of you. Listen, do me a favor. If you want to get in, we're doing a tight stream tonight. This stream is going to be 15, 20 minutes. It's not going to be an hour. It's not going to be 30. We're going to go tight. We talked about the film. We get into your comments. No spoilers. You want to get in? You go super chat. Marvin, appreciate it. Let's do it. A thumbs up from Erick is a definite watch for me. Let's hope this summer lineup can keep the energy going. It's going to. I mean, when you look at the next several weeks and what we have lined up. In fact, let me pull it up right now. And you look at what's upcoming. You're just going to be, it's just literally weekend after weekend. It's one after another, and everyone who said that movie theaters were going to disappear, they're going to go away, nobody's ever going to the cinema again, all those lovely souls, they were dead wrong. They couldn't have been more mistaken, because theatrical is back, and with product like tonight in Spider-Verse 2, you are talking about a record-setting summer incoming, okay? Let's look. So let's go. This is this week's Spider-Verse, and along with the Boogeyman. I have a stream for that. Go back and look at it. MMT, the channel has it there, and you can check that out. I recommend that film as well. Not nearly as strong as Spider-Verse, but it's still recommend. Transformers coming up. That could be in a bad spot. We'll talk about that on Thursday, okay? But then we continue along, and we look at Asteroid City, The Flash, and then The Blackening, Elemental. I mean, we're back. Look, if you want to know, are theaters back? Just look at June 16th. That is 4 films in different genres that will have the movie theaters absolutely slammed. You have The Flash, one of the best films of the year. You have Elemental, Pixar. Still haven't seen it. Going to see it soon. The Blackening. Hearing very good things about that. Lionsgate, horror comedy. And then Asteroid City for the art house crowd. Okay? With Wes Anderson back. That is insane. We are 1,000. I don't need to go further than that. We just need to go out to June 16th to know that we are 100% back theatrically. Okay? Less than 10 minutes. Get in with your super chat you want in. Appreciate it, Marvin, again. Thank you so much. Listen, guys. This is a better film than the first. And you all know you've seen the first, and I know you liked it. So for me to say it's better than the first, then you know you're in for something special. But I think the biggest thing that I need to absolutely imprint upon you, 2 things. 1, you got to see this in PLF, premium large format. Whatever that is, where you are near, you need to pay for that. If you don't have A-list or unlimited from Regal, you need to get that done. Just do it, okay? But when you look at the numbers for the IMAX and the Dolby and the PLF screens this weekend, they're going to be huge, because that is what is happening now in the marketplace. When people go to see these giant films, they want to see them in those formats. That's why the opening weekend is so big for these films, because they have all those screens. The longer they stay in the theaters, the more they lose them. Got to go see that. And then the other half of this that you have to know here tonight is that, yes, it is half of a film. It is going to leave you on the cliff, okay? You're going to be hanging there. So just know that going in. I had forgotten, and I'm watching it, looking at my watch going, wait a second, we're almost done. There's no way this is going to wrap. And oh, that's right. We're getting a trilogy out of this. So keep that in mind here on this Tuesday. You'll see it Thursday. You got to go see it this weekend. It's going to be huge. It's over 100, easy over 100 here tonight. Make sure I have the super chats, and we'll get a few more in here. How cliffhangery is it? Listen. It's very. But yet, there's so much film here, and so much action, and so much visual beauty that you're not even going to care, right? You're going to want to see the second half, like now, okay? So, but I'm telling you, from a visual standpoint, I am just... I can't even put into words my level of disbelief that human beings are capable of creating the artistic vision that I just sat through here tonight that improves upon the first, and I would argue is one of the most visually impressive and arresting films that you will ever see. This is not hyperbolic, okay? It is. You will see when you watch this film. You thought the first looked good, just wait. That's why there is no chance in hell that this film does not win Best Animated Film coming up next Oscars. No chance. Universal have both Lord and Miller. That's right, they have the first look deal with Lord and Miller and the Daniels. Universal, good for them. Listen, I can't argue about the Daniels not being coming off of Everything Everywhere. Any studio would have signed him that deal. I'm just telling you, for me, Lord and Miller are far more impressive as writers than the Daniels. I mean, like, night and day. Like, no comparison to me. Because Lord and Miller are the best, okay? Daniels aren't even in the top, whatever. Come on, you guys know how I feel certainly about Everything Everywhere. So, Lord and Miller are worth every penny. In fact, I would double. If I was, like you see, like when someone comes a free agent, right, in sports, Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets, you have this opportunity to pay someone more cash, whatever the number is, just go higher and outbid them to get the services. Whenever Lord and Miller, that first look deal expires at Universal, if I'm Warner Brothers, if I am Disney, I don't think they want to work at Disney. I think we all know why. If I'm Sony, although Sony has them for this, I would pay them whatever they want, Paramount, whatever they want. You're coming on board, you're going to run the studio. We're going to James Gunn and Peter Safran you. That's how strong these two are. That's how talented they are. They have the vision to bring forth all kinds of great projects, not just except for Cocaine Bear. The fact that they had their names on that. I'm sorry. Cocaine Bear's terrible. But they didn't write it. They didn't write Cocaine Bear. Remember that. Good comment, Bodie, by the way. Spider-Verse or Flash. Grace said they're not the same movie. That's not... Okay, they have threads of similarity. No question about that. But they're not the same movie. That's just stupid. This is why I don't watch Grace Randolph. It's a dumb comment. You could say they have similar threads of loss and trying to change the course of history, but you can't say they're the same plot-wise. That's not true. If you take it from like the most macro view possible, but no, if they're different films, okay? I felt more emotion with The Flash, but visually, I was more impressed with Spider-Verse, and I do think The Flash, though, looks like a very good film. The CG in The Flash is strong. The version I saw in the IMAX a week ago looked really good. Really good. Less than 3 minutes. 3-minute warning here. Not the 2 minute, the 3-minute warning. Remember when Tenet was going to save theaters? Hey, Greasy Guido, I went to Vegas to see it. So, it saved theaters for me. Because I finally got to see a movie after being stuck in the house, being told I had to stay home for months. And if you go to the theater, you're going to kill everybody. Everyone's going to die. Don't remind me, Josh. I just mentioned I didn't see you there. Oh, my God. Grace is... Okay, Josh. Yeah. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to do it. A couple more. Let's see. Any other comments here before we get out of here? And then we're going to roll. I mean, that's it. It's a tight stream. It's great. Let me pull up the reaction one more time as we wrap this thing. We pull it up and hit this, and I will read it to you one more time, everybody who just joined. Here it is. And I will summarize it as best I can. This is going to win Best Picture, Best Animated Feature. Not Best Picture. That would be crazy. Best Animated Feature for sure. No question. Lock. Over. I think it's one of the most visually impressive films ever. Not animated films. Ever visually. And also sound. This is a sound contender for the Oscars as well. It's better, stronger than the predecessor in virtually every way, with the exception of it needs to be trimmed by about 10 minutes minimum. I would say give me 10 out of this, and then we're talking about a near perfect film. Now, That said, it is half a film. So remember that you are not going to get your complete meal here, but you're going to get plenty of food, and your stomach's going to be satisfied. Okay, you're not going to walk out and go, oh, I feel ripped off. No, you're going to want to see the finale, but you're also going to feel like you got your money's worth and then some. Also, Daniel Pemberton's score is very good. For me, it's a contender for best score. It's better than the first. Everything here is just better. It's just a wow film. Visually, it's just unbelievably. It will knock you out. That's how gorgeous this film is from a visual standpoint. Go see it on PLF coming up this weekend. You got to do that. IMAX, Dolby, whatever it is. We're back here on Thursday night as we talk about Box Office of Spider-Verse, your thoughts on the film, because you'll have a chance to see it. You got to go see it. This is a lot of wins for us here on MMT over the last few weeks, including things like Fast X. What? And you got The Flash coming up here, and you got Spider-Verse. You've got a lot of good quality film out there for you to go see. All different, right? And this summer is looking very good. Buy stock now. And I'm not even an AMC stock guy, but I'm telling you, this summer is going to set records. We are back in full in movie theaters, and Spider-Verse is going to absolutely outperform in a huge way this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up here on Thursday night, live from Los Angeles. Eric Weber saying good night. See you Thursday night back here on MMT. Thanks for being here. Peace. Now we'll do peace.